In our last lesson, we learned how to upload an image. So you remember on our stamp collecting page, we uploaded this little 41-cent US stamp. We're going to just now just take a look at some of the different things you can do while you're in the WordPress editor on your website. Now, as I mentioned before, it's a good idea to do most of your image editing when it comes to sizing the picture or doing any kind of modifications to the picture. Like, for example, on the sides here, I didn't take the time to remove the little white panel at the background. We could have easily taken that out using Photoshop or any photo editing software that might have been packaged with your camera, in fact. So there's good things to learn there if you haven't done that already. As well, I mentioned in an earlier lesson that there's a wealth of free utilities that you can use out there. Now, one of the most powerful that you can download from Google is called Picasa, Picassa. It's very powerful. It'll organize all the photos on your web page, or at least your computer rather, and enable you to do quite a few exciting things to edit photos for use on your web page. One of the biggest things you're going to do, of course, is to resize, to crop, things of that nature, so that you can pull images up, as we've done here with the stamp, but having done quite a bit more modifications with it before we got started. Now, what we're going to do in this lesson is just take a look at some of the things you can do in working with this picture that we've uploaded. So go back over to the tab that we've got our dashboard or our editor uploaded in, or at least opened in. Click on Pages and go to the stamp collecting page where we've put the picture. And you remember too in the last lesson that we've learned about this little button here, toggle full screen. So just toggle that, and it gives you a better look at the picture. Now, when you're working with an image, and be careful with this because you can get yourself into trouble if you're not careful. If you click on the picture like so, and you notice the handles appear here, that gives you some editing tools here. For example, if I grab the bottom one, I can pull that picture down like so, but you see I've distorted it, so it's not something you really want to do without taking the chance of ruining the picture. You try to get it back to the way it was before you started. If you grab the corner one, this gives you the option of making the picture bigger. And again, be careful because perspective can change here dramatically. If this is an image of your mother-in-law, for example, and you put it like that and make her look like she's 5 times bigger than she is, you're going to be in serious trouble. But the other thing too, as I mentioned in an earlier lesson, if you make the picture too big, it starts to get very grainy, and it's not going to look good at all on your web page. So generally, it's not a good idea to do too much resizing with the picture, but it does give you a little bit of opportunity, particularly to go down. It's always a good idea to go down, or at least it's safe to go down in size, but not a good idea to go up. So that's what you can do with some of these little handles. Now, you also notice too that once you've got your picture highlighted here with those with the handles on the side, you can go over to your aligning tools here. Now, you remember when we uploaded it, we selected left alignment, so that's why it appears where it is. But let's suppose we want it over on the right side. So while it's got the little handles opened up here, by clicking on these alignment boxes, we can move this picture around into a number of different ways, left, right, or center. Once we get it up there as well, or we've got it justified where we want it, you do have a bit of an option to move this around a little bit. You see how we're drawing this picture, this little on the cursor. If I release it, it will drop the picture in some places that well, a little different than where you had it before. It's a little difficult to work with, but it does give you some idea of what you can do with it. So let's just put it back up there where it was. Let's get it off the full screen. We'll click on Update, and we'll go back over to our website here. We'll click on the refresh button, and there we've just modified where the picture appears. So there's a number of things you can do with the pictures while they're up there. Again, as I mentioned, it's best to do most of your editing with an offline editor before you do that. And that gives you a little bit more control over the final image that you want. But you do have some control over doing that. Now, just before we leave this lesson, let's go back to the editor for a moment and click on the picture. And You notice on the links here, in a future lesson we're going to talk about links. Uh, the picture, once we upload it and insert it in here, it automatically defaults to the large image. It links to the large image. I'll show you what that does for you. When you look at the picture here, you notice when I move the cursor over, the little hand appears there, which means that it connects to something. If I click on it, it shows me the full picture. It's already created a page called the 41-cent flag stamp, and so it can show me the full-size picture. That's pretty handy if you want to have somebody, no matter how big you make the picture, have them able to see the picture in its full size. If you don't want that to happen, go back over and while we've got the picture with the handles appear here, which means we've got it selected. You see these little buttons here that appear. This means we want to link it to something. This means we want to break the link. So if we click on that, it eliminates that link. If I update the page, go back over to refresh my page, now I no longer have the option of, see, I can click on this page, this stamp all I want, and it's not going to do anything. In a next lesson, we're going to learn how we can link to something else. So we're going to use this picture actually and create a link to go to another page.